Chris Kvartek versus Christopher Leonard. Rakdos Goblins versus Mono Green Planeswalkers. Tell us a little bit about this matchup, Corey. What do you suspect is going to happen?
This is an interesting one because Mono Green Planeswalkers is one of the decks that I latched onto right away, just thinking how great of a deck it was. But then Goblins came around and I was just getting destroyed by it repeatedly. So I gotta give it to Goblins here. I think the deck is just way too fast. But when it comes to, Karn the Great Creator, you have a lot of really great hits to get. And, if you can start with Grafdigger's Cage to shut off Muxus, that's step number one. And then you have to reevaluate here. But we're already in the sideboard, so you see those Abrades coming in. Game one is where Mono Green just has to win it, because that's when they can have Cage before the Artifact Hate comes in. Now, not so much.
So both players just getting things started off here. Ideally how they'd like that Llanowar Elf you would have preferred to have down on turn one, I'm sure. But we are making our way towards a Nissa very, very shortly there for Christopher Leonard. Chris Kvartek on the other side doesn't have our favorite Goblin Grandee in hand just yet, but does have some powerful threats in the War Chief, Krenko, and the Chieftain.
Is there other Goblin Grandees? Or is that the favorite by default?
I guess that's the favorite by default.
All right. It's also my favorite, though, regardless.
Yeah. So Chris Kvartek did win game number one. Christopher Leonard is clawing his way back here, trying to keep up with this ridiculous amount of power that this deck generates.
But hey, this Nissa is going to be good.
Yeah, Nissa is very powerful. Well, you know what? What's better than one Nissa? Two Nissas. Why not?
Okay, interesting here. Just by the way that Llanowar Elf is being tapped, I'm assuming we're going to have a Hydra here to take down Goblin War Chief as well. Mm-hmm. And, that's a great start here for a good defense for Christopher.
It's great having double mana, isn't it?
Oh god, this is so good.
It's like, oh cool, I can hit you for 3, and then I can kill one of your creatures with my other creature I just made. Speaking of Muxus, hello.
It's here. And I do have to say, this is the best Nissa deck, in my opinion. You just have so much to do with your mana. You can go get, Ulamogs out of the board with your Planeswalkers. You can just have some absolutely ridiculous turns thanks to this Planeswalker. It's great in Sultai as well, great in Bant and stuff, but really shines in this Mono Green deck.
So how come no Ugin? I'm just looking at this list. I don't see everyone's favorite Planeswalker.
Yeah, you don't see Ugin in these lists too often, and I think that's because whenever you want to exile something with Ugin, you take all your elves and geese with you.
That makes sense.
That becomes a big liability. If we were ramping with Mindstone, Explorer, stuff like that, I would want to lean more into that stuff. But you have your Ugin-like effects in the sideboard that you can search up with either Vivian or Karn.
I do notice the sideboard is all just one-offs for Vivian, Arkbow, Ranger's Zone, Fetch, or Karn the Great Creator. As
The best thing about this deck, Alias, is you never have to sideboard. Your cards are better in the sideboard, so it's a real nice deck when it comes to bringing some cards in and out.
Yeah, kind of reminiscent of, was it Temur Reclamation that was doing those with, or the Adventure decks, Temur Adventure?
Yeah, Temur Adventures,
Off the sideboard with Fae of Wishes.
Exactly, and then people started having like 3 Aether Gusts in the board, so they actually sideboarded again, and then I was off it.
Oh man, Nissa replaces herself with yet another Nissa now. 4 creatures coming in hot. Being like, oh, you have creatures? Here, look at mine. And Kvartek's gonna have to get lucky here. Oh no, we can actually go Muxus next turn because of the War Chief's discount there. So, alright, let's see. Let's get some silly board state going. There's the land needed anyway if we needed to cost it.
And here we go. Step one of getting lucky is having Muxus in your hand. And now we need a good hit here because this Nissa and this battlefield is huge. So this has got to be a great Muxus. Kvartek's just deciding, can I play any other goblins first? Or do I just have to jam Muxus? Weighing all the options. Gotta love that from the MPL Pro here.
Could get the and Krenko out, but here's Muxus. And that's a pretty decent hit. Not the best.
Not bad, but I think that is probably enough to stabilize, at least.
Yeah.
We get to clear out a couple of elves.
Clear off those elves. Huh. Okay, what do we go fetching? We're gonna go find another Muxus, right?
Yeah. I mean, when in doubt, Muxus it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is interesting. So we do have 1 mana. So And the cost reduction of Goblin War Chief, so we can kind of get like a 2-mana Goblin or Skirk Prospector here and kind of go crazy as well. So I'll be interested to see what Kvartek takes here.
I would love to see Goblin Chieftain come down, so maybe we are going to get Prospector. That's not how that word goes.
No, you were right.
It's just going to be another Muxus. Yeah, it's always Muxus.
So
now at least we have...
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, I was just saying, so, you know, now we have blockers in the way. Now we can pressure with this Muxus and something has to block to keep this powerful Planeswalker alive. Otherwise, you just have to kind of make do with the lands that you have available to you. But he decides not to go for the attack, though, and would rather block these pesky creatures from flying at his face.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, so you nailed it. I was just going to say, at least we have a ton of blockers so we don't die on the crackback, and then we're going to try to, you know, push the advantage next turn by getting Muxus, by getting Goblin Chieftain out. Thanks to that Phyrexian Tower on top, we're going to be able to do a lot of things next turn, you know, barring that we can survive against this army of 3/3s.
So tempted to go for it, because if he does want to attack, it's just the goose getting in the way, right? So that goose isn't doing anything anymore for Christopher Leonard, so he'd be quite happy to trade that off, or excuse me, to chump block with the Muxus.
Exactly. I love this play from Christopher Kvartek because another 4/4 being held back means that just on face value, we have Muxus plus Goblin Chainwhirler that are just going to eat 2 of these lands. And, you know, that is super strong right now. And then you can chump a few if you need to survive. But being at 6 life, you really do got to be a little cautious here.
Yeah. So explore into explore there for Christopher Leonard. Now has 4 3/3s on the battlefield along with this Voracious Hydra. Kvartek does have good defenses set up though, so won't die this turn.
And now I'm Christopher Leonard here. I just do not feel good about an attack. I lose 2 forests, just not even trading with creatures, and then at best, I mean, all Chris Kvartek has to do is chump 1 Wily Goblin to one of these forests, eat 2 other forests, take 5 if he wants, and then, yeah, I mean, Christopher Leonard is definitely dead next turn to the goblins that Kvartek has in hand.
Yeah,
so I don't think you can attack,
Yeah, if he were to attack now, he would be in big trouble. So just going to hang back, contemplating getting this Explore going. Does leave him down a blocker, though. What do we find at the top of the library? Anything useful? Well, it's a goose.
So no.
no, it's just another chump blocker. But it is also an extra food. So, you know, if things do get a little crazy here for Kvartek, he is able to pad his life total slightly after blocks.
And even, I don't really know a great draw for Christopher there. Like, even Karn, you know, we don't have these insanely powerful things to stabilize a battlefield to go get with Karn, like Ensnaring Bridge or something that would shut down attackers. You know, you do kind of have to get goblins before they amass this giant board.
Yeah.
You know, you need to get that cage out there, which shuts, this down.
There we go. Speaking of boards.
Oh, man.
Nice.
And 2 mana left over for another Goblin Chieftain. I think this one is over.
Oh, no, we're going Krenko. It's Krenko time.
Even better.
Let's go. Cranked it down on the battlefield. We're going to make very many goblins. And Christopher Leonard is going to be sweating goblins right now.
One thing we do have for Christopher Leonard fans, we do have the ability to sack 2 foods to gain 6 life, but when you're just Krenko just turned sideways and added 20 power. 20 just for turning sideways. Oh my.
With the Chieftain, that would have been an extra +1 across the battlefield there, so that's just goblins for you, friends. Chris Kvartek winning in spectacular fashion once again.